Libya is one of the most challenging and least visible places for Christians in the world. When Gaddafi was overthrown in 2011, Libya fractured into competing governments, militias, and armed groups. Extremists gained a foothold. In 2015, ISIS executed 21 Coptic Christians on a Libyan beach. Today, there is no unified government, no legal system protecting minorities. Christianity has been driven entirely underground. Islam is assumed to be the only option. To be anything other than Muslim is to exist outside of the social fabric. There is no legal pathway to practice Christianity. For converts, discovery means imprisonment, torture, and threats of execution. Family members may resort to violence with no authority to intervene. Faith is practiced in total secrecy. Our field minister describes a landscape of fear, isolation, and incredible courage. Christians meet in secret and share the gospel at great personal risk. Some have experienced mental health crisis under the weight of a double life: publicly Muslim, secretly Christian, with no community. Yet even in Libya, God is building His church, one hidden believer at a time. The gospel takes root in soil the world has given up on. That is the power of a steadfast God. He goes where no one else will. His steadfast love is from everlasting to everlasting, even in a nation torn apart.
If I don't want to be pessimistic, I'll say is we discover things every day. But if I want to say in the truth, is really challenging. Your faith will be challenged. Your belief in God will be challenged every single day. Every single day. If you don't have a strong mindset here, you will even ask yourself, why am I a Christian? They will make sure to let you know that you are not welcome, and they don't like that. Here, a Libyan can't be a Christian. They will face death. This is direct death. Like their families can never know. And yeah, even being too close to Christian, they can have issues. Even people from outside the country are still facing repercussion, because whenever you are somewhere, the question they'll ask you is, are you a Muslim or you're a Christian? And whenever you say that you're a Christian, if they were treating you good before, they'll start to treat you badly, or they'll start to ask you to join their faith. And if you're working in a company or something, they will even promise you heaven and earth, like, we'll double your salary, we'll give you cars, we'll give you money, we'll give you houses if you accept to be a Muslim. And whenever you are like, no, I don't want, you start to have issues in your working place. Either they'll make sure everyone hates you, or either they'll make sure you have issue and they'll just call the police on you. Right now, as we don't have place to gather, because most of the churches have been closed, and they are doing their best not to allow churches to reopen. They are doing their best not to allow churches to reopen. So the churches that are already there, we used to contact them, speak with them, and ask them about their members. And this is a way for us, those emergency relief kits are a way for us to gather people, to check up on them, and it's also helping the churches a lot, because it's helping them to remind people that they are not forgotten. And even if there is no way for people to get together and be together, well, some people are thinking about them, we are thinking about them. They are not forsaken, they are not forgotten. Okay? Because, as everything is hiding here, It's surprising and it's heartwarming when you're meeting other people that are also believers. It's like, oh my God, thank you. There are other believers in the country, because for them, whenever they are facing their families, and whenever that fear of living their life comfortably as Christian, it's something that is tormenting them every day. You can't shout out loud that you belong to Christ. You have to continue pretending. You know, you have to be careful of what you are saying. You have to be careful of the way you are living. Okay, I'll start with a couple of South Sudanese. They came newly. They came newly in Libya, and when they came, what happened to them? On their way coming to the capital, to Tripoli, the driver that was taking them to come asked them just one question, like, "Are you guys Muslims or Christians?" You know, as you know, they are faithful Christians, everything. So they were happy to answer, "Oh, we are Christians." The next thing that happened, they got kidnapped. They got kidnapped by the driver. He called some militians, and the next thing that they started doing was beating them up, and they put a knife on the throat of the lady, and they were like telling the husband, "You need to renounce your faith. You need to renounce your faith, or we'll kill your wife." And before that, all their belonging, of course, they took it. They took the ring of the man. They took everything, their money, everything they had. So it was like, you have to renounce to the faith, or we'll kill your wife. The only thing that saved them is that the woman said she started to pray. And she was like, "Lord, please, we came here to start a new life. We never imagined that this country was like that. We never experienced something like that. You have to save us." They were held until the night. And she said that slumber fell upon the people that took them. And it's at that moment they start running, because they took them like somewhere very far. They start running, and this is how they were saved. This is how they were saved. When I heard that story, I was like, oh my God, God is good. God is great. And right now they are with us in the safe house, because upon everything that happened to them, their neighbors started to complain, to complain and say they would call the police on them. Why? Because they discovered they were Christian. And now the husband at his working place is facing issues, because the manager just asked him, "Are you a Christian or a Muslim?" So when he said he was a Christian, the manager vowed to create all the trouble for him unless he give up the faith and becomes a Muslim. My husband do help me a lot, and the people we are praying with do help me a lot, because honestly speaking, sometimes I wanted to give up, because here, whenever people are in a situation, just know that this situation is a critical situation, and it need answer immediately, you know. And whenever you are telling them to wait, that it's a process, it's everything, the next day you might still meet the person, or the next day the person might have vanished from the country. You never know actually what can happen to a persecuted person in this country. Today they can be alive, tomorrow they can be dead. Today they can still be in the city, tomorrow they might have to run to go somewhere else to just save their lives. The insecurity in the country is like, outside they're broadcasting, yes, the country is fine, but we living here, we know about the insecurity. Every day is, you have to pray and thank God that you're alive. It means that we still have to stand strong, even when we are not seeing the light, or when we believe that our actions are not giving fruits. We still have to wait and be patient and still trust in the Lord, because God's process are not our process. Sometimes we are impatient and we want things to happen the moment we want them. But God is an architect. He does everything correctly and perfectly. The perfection of God is not the perfection of man, and it can never be. The perfection of God can take 1 day. The perfection of God can take 100 days. Him and Him alone is Lord, and Him alone knows when to answer prayers, knows when to answer to a situation, knows when a person needs help. Sometimes as human, we are driven by our emotion and we are like, God, no, 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 please, now. And God is like, keep calm, my child. Trust in me. Stand strong.
I am a Muslim convert facing severe family persecution. My brother beat me, my family seized my belongings, and I was expelled from my home. I am now staying with a Christian sister, but my situation is still fragile. Pray for the Lord to sustain me, provide supportive helpers, and give me financial stability as I rebuild my life.